dealing with the political, social, and economic aspects of the African American and how the African American can be empowered through learning and the knowledge of himself. And so, Pastor, let's see if we can pick up where we left off the last time, but especially I'm concerned about not only the African American race, but I'm also concerned specifically about young African American males in the African American race. What can we say in reference to what they should do?
You know, Dr. Haney, I firmly believe that the man is supposed to be the head. He's supposed to be the shield, the protector, the covering. You know, he's supposed to be the strength, you know, of the family unit, you know. And if you can weaken the strength, if you can destroy the strength of the family unit, then you can destroy the family unit. You know, you can pretty much hold anything else, you know, at bay. You know, the Bible says if you bind the strong man, you know, if you bind the strong man, whatever is in the house, whatever goods, you can spoil his goods and everything like that. So we live in a culture where oftentimes the black African American male is under attack, and a lot of times not even realizing the design of the attack that they're under. You know, just say for example with the pants, people walking around with their pants down. You know, okay, if that's a dress style, I don't quite get it. I don't understand it. And time from time I ask young African American men, you know, why do you do that? And I've not been able to get an answer. Nobody can ever tell me. But then I hear people say, well, you know, that came from the prison. Well, Dr. Haney, I've been to prison. And during my time in prison, that wasn't the case. People don't walk around with their pants hanging off like that, you know, indicating, you know, that they were open for homosexual activity or what have you. But, you know, that to me, I think it was a creative design through the music industry. You know, you had people like Criss Cross coming out here wearing their clothes backwards and stuff like that back some years ago. And then you got the rap videos and stuff like that. Because see, when I was coming up in my day and age, you know, I'm almost 60 years old. In my day and age coming up, you know, we had music that had messages in it, you know. I mean, you know, James Brown was talking about say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud, and, you know, different things. Earth, Wind, and Fire talking about keep your head to the sky, true devotion, and different things like that. But now you got music now, and then you got the video aspect of it. You know, back in my day, they had the black exploitation movies, you know, Superfly, The Mac, and Across 110th Street, you know, all those movies like that sent us in a direction away from our true identity and who we are in terms of how to be successful in life here in America. And now that worked, but when you had the music of the OJs counteracting the movies, the music of the OJs counteracting the movies, then the system found a way to put the music and the movie together, and they call it video. And then they took the lyrics and changed the lyrics, and they call it rap. And a lot of the raps, the dirtier the rap is, the more garbage it spits out, the more degrading it is toward our women, the more violence it shows, the more sexual immorality it shows and things like that, the more money the artists are making. And the more money the artists are making, they're putting it out there. They're glorifying a negative lifestyle that's only produces death and destruction. And our people are listening to that stuff. They're grabbing hold to that stuff, and they're allowing that stuff to go into their mind. And that's why the Bible talks about be careful what you hear, because what you hear can determine how you act or your behavior. So people are listening to this music, and then they're acting in accordance to this music. Now you got a situation in life that we're living with where morals are being taught through video and rap music. So these are negative morals that we're being taught, and then we're acting out on those things. So it's easy now for somebody to grow up in grade school with a friend, two young black males growing up, going to kindergarten, first grade, second grade, fifth grade. They grow up and they become teenagers. One pulls a gun and shoots the other one in the head, blows his brains out without any even thought about it, because of what's been the thought process that's been injected into us through this particular medium. And we have to wake up and see. That's why I say it's so important about training our children, man, because our children need to be taught the right way to do things. You know, it used to be you could get in a fist fight, Dr. Haney, you get up and y'all still friends, you know, next day or two and stuff like that. But now it's like there's such a fear factor going on. And when you see a black man, you know, walking around nowadays, you know, you got his pants dripping down, you got his mouth, you know, full of gold and stuff like that. You're all dreadlocked down, your clothes all big and loose and stuff like that. And it's a fear. It's designed to put a fear factor in there, because now they're showing you doing all these negative things, and then when you do these things, now you got American society running around afraid of you when they shouldn't be afraid of you. You know, we're a valuable asset here in America. We got spending power in America and everything, but because of the way we're acting as a result of these videos or what have you, and just other behavior too, not just videos and that stuff like that, but the way we're acting, you know, even myself, I'm a black man. It's clear that I'm a black man. But sometimes, you know, I can see some black men, you know, with their pants down or with that certain look, that certain profile, then I'm kind of standoffish. I back off. You know,
that makes you fearful as well.
Well, it makes me more so less apt to approach them as I would. You know, I'm always open-minded, but I'm less apt to approach them as I would if they wasn't looking like that. In other words, Dr. Haney, a profile has been created for them, and what we're doing, and we're doing it to our young boys, we're dressing them into that profile. I told a young man he had a marijuana hat with marijuana leaves all on. I said, now you'll go out here, put that hat on, the police will pull you over and stop you. And the first thing you'll cry out, you've been racially profiled, when what you did, you deliberately dressed, you got tattoos all around your neck, all on your face, you got a hat with marijuana on, you got your pants hanging down, your big old shirt on. You just profiled yourself, and then you're gonna blame the police for profiling. You know, you fit the image that they created, that the system created for you. So when you step out into the system with that image, the system snatches you up, because you're more likely to be the one that'll do this crime than somebody like me walking down the street with a suit on.
You know, we've got about 3 minutes. One of the things I'd like for you to touch upon is political participation. I mean, all of these things are well and good, but what can we do in reference to that? I think that politics plays an important part. For the next 3 minutes, let's talk about African-American political participation.
Politics plays a definitely important part. You know, you think about Ferguson, Missouri, for example, 75% of the population up there are African-American, but yet they don't control nothing, they don't run nothing, because they don't get out and vote for nothing. You know, they're not running for the offices that are available. You know, you can't tell me that there are no qualified black people up there to run for these offices and can get elected. You know, but the people, if we don't vote, you know, we sit up and talk about, Dr. Haney, well, my vote don't count. Of course your vote don't count if you don't go cast the ballot, but your vote does count. We're passed over economically, socially, because of the fact that we don't vote. Man, these people are looking at the numbers of voters in the zip codes. You take a 37208 zip code here in Nashville, Tennessee. If the voting percentage is down, which is predominantly African American, then they're not really campaigning in your community. They're not really caring what happens, because you're not caring enough for yourself to go out and try to vote the best possible candidate into office. So now we don't get the services that we need in our area. And the reason why we're not getting the services that we need in our area is because we're not attracting the attention of the politician to our area through our active participation in the voting process. And until we get it in our mind that we got to get out here and get actively involved in politics, and not just wait till some black guy run for president to get interested in politics, or some friend of your family that you know, that your mother knows somebody going to run for office, now all of a sudden you turn out of politics. No, you need to learn this stuff, and you need to get involved in this stuff, find out what's going on and how you can participate in the process. If you're not registered to vote, I encourage people every Sunday in my church, go out, get registered to vote. If you're an ex-offender, you've had your voting rights taken away from you, go find 7 people, get them registered to vote, and let's show the system. And I would say this to ex-offenders, you know, ex-offenders, if all the ex-offenders will come together and create a block, we could get some attention. We can make the system look at us. I say us because I'm an ex-offender. We can make the system look at us, because does the system know that you got 10 ex-offenders or 20 ex-offenders, 1,000 ex-offenders that have the potential to go out and get 7 people registered to vote, that vote their interest. That's a scary thing for any politician, and they're going to take notice of you.
So in a real sense, the empowerment of African Americans has to do with social empowerment, economic empowerment, and political empowerment. And one of the most obvious and most immediate things is political empowerment.
Absolutely.
I think that if you talk about political empowerment, you can bring all of those other things together. And
you absolutely can.
The most important thing is registering and voting.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely. If we empower ourselves politically, we can affect ourselves economically, because at the same time, the people know that you're going to have to do something in terms of opening up some kind of job arenas for us. Get rid of these food deserts. You know, you build this great thing down here, you go down and tear out Preston Taylor Project. It's a big grocery store down there, but you don't put a grocery store down there. Nobody puts a store.
Okay, and of course, Pastor, let me end this show for today. And thank you for the information, excellent information that you've given us. And let me encourage our audience to tune in again next week for another informative edition of Comments. Thank you and good morning.